Hello people, welcome to another video from the chapter multimedia. In the previous video we've talked about bitmap images. We've talked about how they have a problem of pixelation, yet whenever you want some realistic image that is exact copy of how we perceive images to our eyes, bitmap is the only option. The next type of file format is raster file or vector graphics. So, we've learned about bitmaps in our previous video. If you haven't watched that video, I highly suggest you to check that video out, because this is a development from that. Various ideas will develop from that video itself. If not, I will do a short recap. Bitmap uses pixels. These are the smallest element of an image. Bitmap images are usually captured by cameras, and whenever the light and rays and colors they fall into the sensor of camera, there is an analog to digital converter that converts those data into bits. That's why bit maps. You're mapping the bits. Now we have vector and vector graphics. Another detail I forgot to mention was bitmaps suffer a problem of pixelation. So pixelation is basically when you zoom a lot into an image, they have a tendency to be pixelated. You can see it here. You could see tiny boxes here. This is a problem with bitmap images. Whereas vector graphics, they are made from mathematical shapes such as circle, a rectangle, a triangle. So all of these figures have some form of mathematical formula. A circle can be represented by pi r square, a rectangle L times B, a triangle 1 by 2 h sine theta. So whenever we're zooming in and zooming out, these dimensions or the length of pixels can be adjusted. For instance, right now the radius of this circle could be 18 pixels. How? This could be 18 pixels. So if I zoom in, definitely the number of pixels has increased, right? Now this 18 could be 48, and with the increase in the zoom, when I zoom the picture in, the computer could adjust the formula and create pixels on the basis of that. So this is all about vector graphics. All these objects are called drawing objects. Use the term drawing objects. Drawing objects are mathematical shapes and figures that are used to create vector graphics. Drawing list is basically a collection of drawing object. Property, when I need to talk about property, if I need to talk about the property, for instance, let's take an example. Let's create a face of a robot. Now I made a shape. Now these 2 points must be elongated or compressed according to the user's movement of mouse. Instance, I'm zooming in, these points have changed. I'm zooming out, the points have changed. What I mean by this? Initially, this is the distance between 2 points. But when I zoom in, right, the length has decreased. Now of course this uses absolute referencing, but when we are talking in terms of pixels, it definitely does change the length of the points from one face to another. So these are called the properties of a vector graphics. Now where is it advisable that use of vector graphic is a better option? Whenever we are working with logos, as vector graphics never get pixelated, we have mathematical formulas which can be increased or decreased according to the needs of the user. So logos might be required to be might be required to be printed on big hoarding boards. At the same time, they might also be used to print keep in a small location such as in a stamp. So a lot of change in resizing is involved whenever we are designing logos. So it is advisable to use a vector graphics. This is why lots of logos, they never use real pictures, because real pictures get pixelated. Also, since the amount of pixel is comparatively less in vector graphics, the file size is also less. So this is why vector graphics is justified for such tasks. But if I had to get in more detail, here is a thing that we could understand. So vector graphics, they're made up of geometric shapes which require definition and attributes, made up of tiny pixels, different colors. These are for bitmap images. So geometric shapes can be changed, so it's easy to alter the design. It is also easy possible to alter the design in bitmap images, but you need to be some form of specialist or a very high or a very professional or expert user in Photoshop. File sizes are low in vector graphics. File sizes are high in bitmap images. But given that the number of geometric shapes are limited, vector graphics are not very realistic. They are built by pixels, so bitmap images are very realistic, and file formats .svj, CGM, ODZ, JPEG, BMP, PNG. Right. So what are the conditions? If we need to resize it, vector graphics is a good thing. It needs to be drawn to scale. Again, vector graphic is a good option, like, because you know the scales and all. Does it need to look real? Well, bitmap is a better option. Are there any file restrictions? Now, this depends upon the context. So this is about the graphics section. I think we've covered most of the content of the syllabus. See you in the next video. Stay tuned, subscribe, and please comment down if you need some specific content for the A-level computer science 9618 syllabus. Thank you so much.